Thank you for staying with us. It's the Dynamic Diatombe Nigerian Television Priority Channel Nta Akure Dynamic Station. And before we went on that short break, I told you that we are going to have a guest this morning that is going to talk about making Nigeria a better place, and particularly in Owo or Federal constituency. Our guest this morning is a politician. He is a businessman. He is a mobilizer, grassroots mobilizer, and he is a man of vision, a man that actually has something in store for his people, and he's seeking a platform to make sure that this vision is actualized. My guest this morning is the CEO AfriPoint Group. He is the director admin of the TSG Tinubu Support Group. My guest is also an aspirant for the Owo Federal constituency, and he is aspiring on the platform of the APC. So he is a stalwart in the APC. My guest this morning is Honorable Ajibola Adetula. You're welcome to the program, sir.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here as well.
It's good to have you here, sir.
Thank you, madam. It's a pleasure to be here.
I'm sure you have greetings for your people out there.
Well, yes, thank you very much. It's a great Saturday morning. Wherever you're watching us from, we're happy to tell you that democracy is working. Nigeria is moving forward. All the metrics show that there's improvement. There's a lot we need to tie up together, and these are the many, many reasons that we are here to talk about, to say how Nigeria can be a more inclusive environment, how Ondo State generally, and in this case in particular, the Owo Federal constituency can enjoy continued better governance under the platform of the APC. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much, Honorable Adetula. But now, beyond knowing you as Honorable Adetula, beyond just knowing that you are a politician, you are a businessman, who exactly is Honorable Adetula?
Well, that's an interesting question, but I'll answer it and say that I am someone with a varied background. I have a background in business. Prior to that, I have worked on the global stage. I'm talking all the global headquarters of the world, London, New York, Toronto, and all that. So I understand global presence. I understand how it cascades into local macroeconomy and microeconomy. All that experience, I'm also into ICT. Part of our group structure has a software development company, and we have done things on the national stage here in Nigeria, enterprise applications that is being used by Nigerians. So I come from a varied background: investment banking, IT, agriculture. I'm a farmer. We have a product, we do nature force foods, we do rice, all that agricultural products and all that kind of thing. So there's a lot to pack into that. I come from a varied background, and I want to bring that experience to bear on the daily lives and day-to-day lives of an average citizen, average constituent of our Federal constituency.
Okay, so Honorable, you've had a successful career in the private sector, in tech, and even in business. So with all these comforts, why did you decide to delve into Nigerian politics? Because I know of successful people, when you tell them, go into politics, they say, no, I don't want Nigerian politics, it's too toxic. So why have you decided to go into it?
You know, that's a very interesting question, because a lot of people ask me that. In fact, they say, are you crazy? As in, for all the things God has done for you, why would you want to involve in this? And I always tell them a short story, right? When I was younger, I used to envisage that people with a lot of experience, people who had seen life in various capacity, would put all that into improving the situation for the people coming behind, sort of paying it forward, you know? So, you know, it's an average Nigerian would say, oh, don't our leaders see what they're doing abroad? Don't they? You know, so I got to the point and I said, you know what? We shouldn't be talking anymore. We should be acting. We should put ourselves in the ring and say, you know, let those who know how lead the way, lead the charge. One of the things you see in most successful countries is that people with the understanding of technical plus political plus economic skills, they vie for this position out of service. And that's the same thing for me. Out of service, I want to make impact. I want the Nigerian child, the Ose or War child, to know that someone is ready to speak for them, someone is working for them, someone understands why they go to school, how they should go to school, what they eat, what they consume, how they are protected. Somebody has to do this because sometimes it appears that there's a disconnect, and somebody has to tie it together.
Well, Honorable, let me come this way. We have been having this rhetoric all the time, especially when elections are close. We have people coming up telling us so many things. Some actually live up to it, while some, after the election, is just a past story. It becomes a past tense, then we're looking forward to the next election. What are the practical plans you have to make sure that yours is not just to come and tell people, I will do this for you, let me not use that phrase, I will work for you, and eventually we see nothing? What are those practical plans you have for your people?
That's a very good question. Thank you for that. So one of the things I want people to know is that we want to take a new direction. It's time for innovation. The world is moving very, very fast. We're talking artificial intelligence in places like California or some modern places. You see that cars are already driverless. Imagine how miles away we are from that. So we need people that understand the concept of how fast the world is changing. For me, it's not mere rhetoric. I see challenges as an opportunity for improvement. We are going to engage from an innovative perspective. For instance, for Owose, I think one of the things we need is industrial pool. We need industrialization in those areas. We need jobs in various sectors that need to come there. So one of the platforms I will be coming with is from the area of job creation. I understand job creation as an entrepreneur who has created a lot of jobs. We want to create jobs for our youth. In Ondo State, we say Ishe logun Ishe, and we have to reorientate our youth because a lot of people come and say, oh, I don't have money. I say, what do you do? And I say, I don't have a job. And you can't have money now. Ishe logun Ishe. It's money. For money to be in your pocket, you have done some kind of... Exactly. So where are you supposed to get money? And many people don't even understand the concept that job is created. We kind of assume that magically jobs just appear. People have to sit down. In the days of the Awolowos and all our fathers, they sat down and said, want to do cocoa house, want to do Odua investment, want to do... It is a structured approach. And someone from an entrepreneurial background that has political understanding is able to tie those two things together. Not to mention that the world is changing already. We're talking remote jobs, artificial intelligence, a lot of this, as in who is going to bail the cat, who is going to have that discussion. Well, I'm putting myself forward to say, you know what, I understand how this ties together. From the macroeconomic level to the microeconomic level to education, to the skill set, to the training, all that is in there to put it together. So I am passionate to make a change. This is service for me. I don't need to do this for rhetoric. This is me when I go among my people and I say, like, this can be better. What has been happening is good, but we can also do better. And we should strive to do better. Better is the key.
Okay, so people at the grassroots, they usually have this issue of not being inclusive, when you are making decisions and all that. So how are you ensuring that you are reaching people at the grassroots, feeling their pain, and how are you ensuring continuity in whatsoever had been done in time past, instead of bringing in new projects and, leaving out those ones?
That's a very good question, madam. So one of the things we're going to engage, just a few days ago, I held a town hall in Owo with Nigerian students, Nigerian youth. It was a packed event, and we want to continue that stead, right? We want to continue in that track. We want to ensure that there's collaborativeness. So when I start to represent the people of Owo, I'm going to hold quarterly town halls. Having said that, we don't have to wait a quarter to talk to your representative. We have technology, there's a lot of channels, and that's what I'm saying. We have to use modern tools for modern problems. So community platforms where people can chat, community Slack channels, there's a lot of tools that you don't need to wait even for the town hall of 3 months. The town hall of 3 months is supposed to be like a report score to say, hey, this is what we are working on, this is what we will do, this is what we are doing. So there's a roadmap that we would unveil, and people can follow it, And to be honest, most plans, when it meets reality, you start to evolve and change. We will inform the people. Like I said, my platform is about jobs, 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 industry, industry, industry. But most importantly, says security.
Yes.
Security, because a farmer needs to be able to go into the farm and come out. That is food security directly. That is employment. If he's afraid to go to his farm, we already have a problem as a society. So I will be working on all that to take off from where what has been done, to build upon it and expand upon it.
Well, thank you very much, Honorable. If I may ask, you are contesting for our federal constituency as a member of the Federal House of Representatives, and all your plans now, they are very laudable, but considering the scope and the resources available for you, you are not the governor, you are not the president that has seemingly absolute control over resources. So how do you ensure that you use your position as a rep member to influence the people that actually take that decision? Well, you may understand what I mean by decision. I'm talking about having so to say absolute control over decision making, over budgetary allocation, over project execution and the rest. How do you intend to use your own influence as an individual to ensure that your people benefit maximally?
So that's a very, very good question. So one of the things we do well, especially in the private sector, is to be able to tie concepts together. Now, collaboration is key, right? So they are already, number one, let's start with that. There's a role of initiatives under the Renewed Hope agenda, our EASE agenda, that has not been able to cascade down, not because those initiatives are not already there. The tie-in factor, someone that will tie it together, an office, a program, an incentive, an initiative that will tie it to grassroots. So what we intend to do is use our resources, our understanding of government, our position as a representative to marshal these resources down to the people. Now, in such cases where these resources have not even been created, like you said, from, let's say, from the federal government to the state government and all that, it is our job to go and present these problems and present it on behalf of the people and say, because that is what true representation means. It means that you are speaking on behalf of the people. It means that you are representing them. As the budget is being passed, you are making sure that what is due to go to your constituency goes there. It is followed up. The execution is flawless. And you are able to. So I guess collaboration is the key. And also innovative ways. We are going to partner a lot with the private sector. Government cannot do all. There's a lot of private sector planning to jump in to help with some of these initiatives. And what you see is that there's a disconnect. There's no rallying force. There's no rallying points. There's no understanding of how private-public partnership works and the frameworks, because each framework can be unique, especially to the local population. And so in a nutshell, we are able to, our approach will be collaboration with the federal government, with the state government, with the private sector, a three-pronged approach to bring the dividends of democracy to the people of Owose.
Well, thank you very much. But let me ask, in politics, it's good to have very laudable ideas, but there's another thing also to be able to ensure that people understand this idea for adequate support. I'm sorry to say in the past, some of our people go for, some say highest bidder, some say this, some say that. But even without considering who actually have this idea, how are you working to ensure that you put down the adequate structure and support that will make you to be able to get to that position and be able to at least actualize your vision? Because it's not about having a good vision alone. It's about having the people that can support you, put you in that place to get to that position.
And that's a very, very good question again. So what has happened over the years is that most Nigerians, we are in survival mode. People are not futuristic. They are thinking of just immediate now and now. So what we have started doing, first of all, is a reorientation to say, well, stomach infrastructure just lasts you a few days, a few weeks. You need someone, you need leadership that is thinking of a longer period for you, long-term, medium-term perspective. So we are holding consultations, and one of the things we are trying to do is also introduce safety nets as we unveil social safety programs. In fact, by God's grace, one of the things I will be working on at the federal level that's going to cascade. I think the president has done great, a lot of laudable social initiatives. Mr. Governor, Ondo State, we've been particularly lucky. Our governor is particularly interested in human suffering and alleviating the problems. So one of the ways we need to do is to tie all this into a social security program for the people, so that there's a base net of understanding. Maslow's law, basic survival is what is lacking in people right now and is eroding their dignity. So one of the first things I will be pursuing assiduously at the national level is a social security program that cuts across Nigeria, but at least our people too will also benefit. All the laudable programs of Mr. President, Mr. Governor, when we have Social Security Administration or whatever structure we put in place, the people will be able to have some kind of social safety net that will take them out of survival mode where they always have to just think of 2 kg rice, 2 kg gari, and they're not able to think long term to focus on what is important to them. Their education, the education of their kids, the health care, the security, road networks, farming, food prices, and all that. If you look at this December, it will interest you to know that food prices crashed for the first time in a very long time. And people didn't know what to make of that. Should they be happy, not to be happy? Is it a long-term thing? So there's a lot of issues that social safety net will, it reduces volatility, and people will be able to think more long-term and avoid just stomach infrastructure and one or two palliatives from time to time. That's not how our people should be living, and that's the message. The message that we can do better, we should do better. There's a greater life out there, and our people should not be made to just live from hand to mouth and not experience living. Living should be more than just existing. There should be value. There should be quality of life. So the message is that Nigeria is not finished. We are just getting started. New crop of leaders are coming. We want youth to engage. We want people with innovative ideas to come out of the woodwork, and let's start charting a new course. The status quo will not remain so. We need to chart a new course, and we need a new set of reasoning, a new set of innovative ways to go about these things to support the agenda of Mr. President, Mr. Governor, and all the good works going around Nigeria. We need, it's like going to the market. So you can buy a cloth. A tailor has to sew this thing. Somebody has to give you cufflinks. So a lot goes into the finished product, and that's what we are trying to offer. The tying it together in a bow, so to speak.
Okay, so you mentioned that youths will be involved, and the percentage of unemployed youths is very high.
Extremely.
But people are not using them. They are not maximizing these people. They have potentials, but most of them are just there. They feel left alone. So how are you ensuring that, apart from people using them for campaign, how are you trying to work with them to make sure that your plan comes to actuality? We have a lot of youth out there. So what's your plan, working with them, collaborating with them?
So right off the bat, even at this stage already, we already set up a platform called Ose Job Center. We want youth to go there and create a profile. Put your resume there, because sometimes there's a gap analysis, right? From maybe whatever tertiary institution you've attended, College of Education, technical training colleges and all that, there's still a gap to employment. Now, we need to understand that and do some kind of gap analysis to say, you know what? You need extra, maybe 3 weeks training, 4 weeks training, blah, blah, blah. So we need to first understand the profile of the job populace. If it's agri sector jobs, if it's tech jobs, if it's automotive repairs, HVAC technicians, whatever sector it is. It doesn't have to be academic. Actually, blue-collar jobs power a society. So our Ose Job Center, go there, start putting your resumes. We're already thinking of the future. Let's have a job bank, a database bank, where employers can post jobs, young people can post the resume. We will do the technology part to tie it together. So these are some of the things that are already missing that we are saying that we can address it using innovative ways. There are people with jobs. There are people with needing jobs. Let's tie them together. It's the Uber of jobs. You need you want a vehicle. You need a customer. Uber ties it together for you. So or said job center. We're already starting with that, and we're not ready in the representation yet. So this is serious business. This constituency will be a pilot to how governance and representation should be going forward.
Well, thank you very much. You in the course of your discussion, you mentioned some very vital points from where I'm going to draw this next question. We have seen our people, especially some of our youth, let me not say all, because we still have very good ones with good orientations. When we hear about all this empowerment program, job creation, everybody wants money. Even when you're trying to say, oh, I want to set up a skill acquisition, because sometimes ago it created a problem between me and somebody very close to me. The government had a program where some youth needed to be trained in skill acquisition. Then somebody close to me was one of the beneficiaries. Then one day we were talking, I said, are you not going to your center today? He said, Uncle, they said they will pay us at the end of the training, and I will talk with my trainer this. So at this moment my money can come up. And truly, that person I'm talking about, I don't think he attended that program for more than 1 week in all. A program that was supposed to last for I think about 2-3 months. He just managed to do camper, and eventually the money was paid. How are you going to put measure in place that those kind of people are not the one that will come, just get the money for the training, get everything? That actually the people that need this thing participate, and those that participate actually make use of it.
That's a very, very important concept. In fact, let me add to it. I remember sometime Odose did an Greek initiative. They gave them chickens, they gave them feed, they gave them people didn't go there. So this is wonderful. But let me give you a solution to that. You see, first of all, it's putting a square peg in a round hole. Some of these programs are not what those set of people need. So first of all, you have to identify the gap. That's why I went back to say, for instance, if I want to be a graphic designer and you took me to learn agriculture and feed, that's not really what I'm trying to do. So why doesn't someone ask me what I want to do, which is what this matching is about? Why don't you go there and register your interests? Then we are going to take the database of everybody and say, okay, now we can have 10 clear pathways and say, let's create this program, graphic designing. Let's create UI, UX. Let's create farming. Let's create plumbing. Let's create, if it doesn't even fit into the areas of interest. So in our minds right now, we have created 7 to 9 opportunity zones. We call them opportunity track zones. Track that you can follow. Like, okay, do you want to be a technician? Go put your resume there. We are going to call you for an interview and say, oh, you really want to do this? So there has to be, like I said initially, the gap analysis. What is this guy trying to do? Oh, sir, I really want to be a graphic designer. Good. So this is, in the days we used to have what we call guidance and counseling. So in a job center, you want to sit down with somebody and see their propensity. Is it towards art? Is it towards the technicals? Is it towards... so putting a square peg in a round hole, you go and take someone who is a fine artist, who wants to be a sculpture artist, and you go and put him to learn farming. And the guy is like, okay, let me go and take their money there. So some are well-intentioned program, but the delivery is not putting into cognizance a lot of external factors. And that's why you run it on a program basis, so that it's not haphazard. You run it on a program basis so that you are measuring the risk. What are we not seeing here? And if you run it on a program basis, you're also able to change direction. It's agile. If you're missing it, there's measurement. There are KPIs that you should be hitting. There are milestones you should be hitting per time. If this program is supposed to run for 6 months, okay, what is participation rate? What is, and there's a lot of technology-driven solutions. I give you for free that they are geotagged location devices that if I wanted to make sure that you are in these premises, you will not be able to sign up until you sit down in these premises. So those are the use of technology. These things are there. One person doesn't need to sit down in Owo and say he's in a program in Akure. He will not be able to log in for registration in that platform. So except he sends his own phone to Akure, and we have other ways we can also still monitor that. You understand? So we can do check-ins, we can ping, I don't want to make it all about technology because everybody will, but technology works. Innovation works.
When you are dealing with youth, now,
exactly.
Yes.
Technology has to come in.
Exactly.
Because an average youth in Nigeria, whether living in a remote area or whatever, have access to technology,
yes.
and they understand it.
Exactly. So let's put the right programs for the right set of youth and put the right measurement instruments in place, and we watch it flourish. Because Ondo State is 50. You know, we've come a long way, and we're still powering through. We're in the jubilation stages and all that. But you look at Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa's program, we have a new agenda. Our is trying to say Ondo State for the next 30 years. So people are thinking about this, and with inputs from people like us, these plans will change and evolve, and you can take a part of these plans, mend it for your own constituency. Like I said, we want to be the template of growth and leadership as it comes to Ondo State and Nigeria as a whole. The next representation of an Ose, if by God's grace, God permits us, it will be mind-blowing. You have never seen anything like this before. We are going to bring in best practices. This is how it can be done. And we have tested it in our business lives, in our personal lives. And it's time to, and that's why I say I come from a heart of service to say, this is how it's done. You know, I make one analogy. If you're in an airport or in a crowded space and someone collapses there, a doctor shows up on the scene and says, please give me way. So you need the expert to come in now and say, this is how it's done. And that's the scenario we are painting here. Leave room for the expert, people that create jobs, people that understand how microeconomy. My background has been very interesting. I've been an investment banker, a project manager, technology expert, a farmer, you know, so I've run the gamut, not to mention all, there's a lot of contacts that we need to bring in. There's a lot of context switching that needs to happen in the mind of a leader. You know, am I an entrepreneur today? So I want Owose to see me as the senior business development officer of that region. We want to develop it, and we want to make sure it's safe and secure and prosperous. That is what this is about.
Well, thank you very much, Honorable Ajibola Adetula. It has been an interesting session with you. But before we leave this program, what will be your final word to our viewers out there?
Well, to our viewers out there, good times are ahead. Don't lose hope in democracy. Don't lose hope in the agenda of Mr. President and the agenda of our amiable governor, Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa, especially youths who are beginning to give up on the concept of leadership. We want you to come out. We want you to embrace what is going on. It takes a while. It's like a child, a person that just came out of surgery. They are still going to be teething pains and all that, but once it's done, and this is a transformative process, and it's ongoing. It will not end with us. We are going to create the people, process, procedure, and understanding of how governance works, and we want people to stay tuned. Don't be disenfranchised in the process. It's your civic responsibility to participate, to engage, and we want you to be hopeful for the future. The future of Owose is very bright and very great, and we look forward to engaging on ideas, on innovation, on best path possible. Thank you for the opportunity, and we look forward to exciting campaign times.
Well, thank you very much, and thank you for sharing your time and your experience with us on this program this morning.
Thank you very much.
We'll invite you next. You oblige our invitation.
Yes, I will. Thank you so much.
Well, it's wonderful having Honorable Ajibola Adetula on that segment of Weekly Mirror segment of Dynamic Diet. Right now, the program continues with other segment. Please don't go away.